Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, wherever you are, whenever it is for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chase Corrington, and this is the CLC Paint YouTube channel, where we're doing landscape paintings, wet on web, eyebrow style, and I'm letting you join me. You can paint along with me, or you can watch, education, entertainment, whatever you want. Whatever you want. You can make fun of me if you want, that's funny. Or I might even teach you some philosophy. I like to talk about life, the universe, and everything. But today, I have this book. It's like how-to pictures from back in the day. You know, probably back in the times of VHS and stuff, to where if you couldn't get yourself a videotape, this was another way to learn. And so I'm going to go through the first couple pages here. We're going to start with the skies, do some clouds, then we'll do some mountains, and then we'll do some trees, which is on this next page here, and then some reflections, and of course waterfalls, last but not least. I might break that up into 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 videos. We'll see how fast we go. This one, we will begin. We have a wet, liquid white pre-stretched 16 by 20 canvas here, and we're going to do the sky. And I'll read the steps as how it is, so we can get a more accurate description. So skies starts out, says load the 2-inch brush with a very small amount of paint. And I notice he always says that, very small, just a little bit. I think that means a decent medium amount. Tapping the bristles firmly against the palette to ensure an even mixture, even distribution of paint throughout the bristles. So I'm going to grab some, maybe we'll have like a little purplish sky, since I do blue so often. I'm kind of like I'm in a purple mood, in a good way. So I took the alizarin crimson, and I don't use massive piles because I can always put out more. So what we did there is we just put this little pile of crimson there. The rest of the stuff's dry. And we're going to grab some phthalo blue. Phthalo blue. I'm going to use less of this than the crimson because it's twice as strong. And we'll probably get more of a blue than a reddish purple. So I'm going to take the knife and grab both of them and flip it over and pull it through itself. Scrape it up once again, flip it over, pull it flat. Kind of let those mix a couple times. And then, whoops, you gotta be careful where your thumb's at. I do that too often. So we're going to take the red and the blue, our purple mixture, clean off the knife and the finger. And my tape's kind of coming up down here, but that's all good. So see how the pile's thicker in one area? Maybe you can see that. If not, you can imagine. So if we pull through that, we just have the paint on the brush in one spot. When we go to put it up here, it's going to be in one spot of the brush. See that? What we want, this is why it says tapping. See, I tapped and it kind of started to spread it out there. But we want to tap a bunch to spread it across all the bristles. So that's what I'm going to do. Tap a little with the left, tap with the middle, tap with the right, and kind of rock the brush back and forth. to evenly distribute the color so that you don't have a huge blob of paint on any one part of the brush. Sometimes I'll pull it left and right, tap again. But see, much more even after tapping. I did keep it on one side. I like to have one side be the color side. So then use crisscross strokes to begin painting the sky. Starting at the top of the canvas and working down towards the horizon. So we'll imagine our horizon is going to be like this area. We're going to start at the top. I usually go in the corner. And so just like an X, like I did this and that, one that way, one that way. And this feathering allows it to blend real nicely. See how that thick spot stands out? That's why you want to have it evenly distributed across the brushes. And if you have enough liquid white, the paint will come off and slide. If you don't, you may have little grainy areas. Like see that spot right there? Having a strong easel is good because that happens and then your canvas is loose. I, for some reason, don't have a strong easel. I'll get there one day, folks. But you just begin see as you go through, this will blend with the white that's on the canvas, and you'll end up with the lighter color that you want down towards the horizon. Reload as many times as desired. Start at the top again. And see that thick spot is still there after all the blending we've done, scrubbing. So that's why it's important to get that even mixture before you start going. I want to try to get this a little tighter. Maybe that'll stay for us. We'll see. We'll see. I'm really liking this purple, the purple sky. And see, this line is where the wood is behind the canvas, so watch out for that too. And this is where you get a strong wrist after doing all this blending forever. So see how now, since the brush is mixed with the liquid white, when you get down here, you can push as hard as you want, and the color's a lot lighter. It's just a soft, misty version of what we started with up here. And just come across to blend it, smooth it. You can do circles if you want. All about feeling good. All right. So, and it says add clouds or add cloud shapes by making tiny circular motions, strokes, with the fan brush, the 1-inch brush, or you can use the 2-inch brush. Round brush or the oval brush. Then you blend the base of the clouds with circular strokes using just the top corner of a clean 2-inch brush. And so our example over there. So it shows fan brush. That's what we use. I think it's the easiest. They're all easy, but I think the fan brush is the easiest to clean. I go through a lot of white. A lot of white. It's like the most popular color. All right. Put that up and we'll see if that's even enough. Ding. So I'm going to load the fan brush. Now, if my top corner is going to be the top there, I'm going to load that side of the brush, right? Like so. Ding. See that? Then we'll come with the top corner of our brush and doing tiny circular strokes, we'll make a cloud. So maybe one lives right here. And see, what happens is your color will run out and it'll pick up the color that's on the canvas. So you want to make sure you have a lot of paint and then reload before you lose control of what's actually on your brush. Keep it white as much as you can, but don't worry about it, just let it happen. And I know it sounds contradictory. So I've already done that, so I'm not going to go over it again except for right down here. And we're going to, maybe we'll build another cloud. It comes down like that. Reload. And maybe there's another one. He lived off the top of the canvas. And he comes down over there. And maybe he's a little bigger over here. Another way you can do clouds is just by simply using the brush horizontally and pushing it up. See that? But you can see how different those look. It's whatever you want. Now, we're going to take preferably a clean 2-inch brush. Since that one's got the purple on it, I'll go get my other one. Now, may not look so clean, but it is. So what do we do here? Ding, just the top corner of a clean, dry 2-inch brush. Blend the base of the clouds with circular strokes. So here's the base, the bottom of them. Circular strokes. There we go. Base of that guy. I'm gonna really blend this one out. And the more you blend it, watch, the more it disappears. See? This guy. Keeping those circles going. Anybody can do circles. Anybody can do this. If you've never tried this, it's literally just as easy as it looks. The only catch to that is stretch canvas, liquid white oil paint to allow this wet background. So you got my finger a little white there. And then you just do exactly what I showed you, and this happens. It's as easy as it looks. Let's see, does it say to fluff it? No, it doesn't. But if you'd like to, as light as possible, just a touch, just barely, not no pushing, just barely. You can fluff your clouds. No smearing, just lightly. And we'll leave that. Just gonna be a simple, we'll do the clouds and the mountain in this video. So now, it says pull the paint out on your palette, flat, then cut across to load the long edge of the knife with the small roll of paint. So I'll show you what it's talking about there. If you can, yeah, there's a good angle. So see this pile of white? Pull it out flat, like so. Cut across it. See, too big. Pull it out flat. Let me wipe that off. Cut across it. Small roll of paint on the edge of the knife there. Ding. And that's what you'll work with to build these mountains. Now, continue. Loading the long edge of the knife with the small roll of paint, use firm pressure to shape just the top edge of the mountain. So we'll use our sky color, but we'll add a little bit of blue to make it more blue than it was. So these are going to be blue mountains contrasting against our purple sky here. Ding. Small roll of paint on the edge of the knife there. Flip it over. I imagine the long edge of the knife is the side of the mountain. And then you flip, excuse me, and then you flip it over, and the side of the mountain is now going down that way. So you end up leading up to the peak and then down the other side, if you think of a mountain as a triangle. So let's form the top edge of the peak here. So you don't worry. You just slide what's on the knife. And wherever you'd like the top to be, then begin pulling down. See that? Up, down. And then when you run out of paint, you can load more or clean off the knife and reload it, either way. See, now I'm going to turn the knife so that way we're going down this side. And then you can scrape that out. You scrape to remove the extra paint that's on there. Just shape the top edge, it says. Well, I want this to be a bit more round at the top. And then there'll be another edge over here. If you need to put more paint on your palette, you can always do that. And maybe there's another edge right there. A little peak. move this over here so I can read it from underneath the camera. That might be better. So remove excess paint with a clean knife. I used the dirty knife, but you can use a clean one. I like to kind of spread the paint around. Dun, dun. Then use a 2-inch brush to pull the paint down, completing the entire mountain shape. So we'll use our purple brush, mostly clean, not too much color in there. And so we'll push firmly against it, being careful not to mess up the top edge like I almost just did, and pull it down. See that? What it causes is the blending and the misting of the bottom edge. Do this, since this side is going this way, instead of pulling that direction, I'll pull this direction. And then kind of blend off to complete the shape. Right here in the middle, instead of pulling this way or that way, kind of do a mixing. Very subtly though. And come across to soften it all up. There we go. Almost went across the mountain. Don't do that. There we go. Nice. Nice blue distant mountain. Now, next step. Then use, oh no. Yeah, that's fine. Then use 2-inch brush, pull it out, completing the entire mountain shape. With a small roll of paint on the edge of the knife, apply highlights and shadows, paying close attention to the angles, like I was saying about this way and that way. Dun, dun. Using so little pressure, there we go, that the paint breaks. And then after, use a clean, very dry 2-inch brush to tap and diffuse the base of the mountain, creating the mistiness we just did. So, this time we're going to use white. Same way we created the roll of paint. We're going to do it again. Get a little more so it's up to the top. Now, the pressure is key here. So little pressure that the paint breaks. So I'm almost dropping the knife, just holding it. But we take that roll of paint, same way we painted the top edge, except zero pressure, and just let the canvas take whatever it wants, and see it breaks off instead of smearing on. Breaks off the knife instead of smearing on the canvas. So once again, reload. We'll do this mountain. Reload. And continue. So a little pressure that it breaks off, not smears on. So I'm just going to create 3 peaks here. Like so. Maybe this one's a little wider. And see, we have very little white down here at the bottom. in order to show the base blending technique, I'm going to add some extra white, like so. And if your white is really dry, it'll break a lot better. If it's really wet, it'll smear more. So keep that in mind. There we go. I think it's really snowy over there. Maybe we'll add some down here too. Yeah. And see, it just makes all kinds of, maybe there's a whole peak right over there. So now, to do the shadows, we're going to take our mountain color, just a tiny bit of it, and run it through some white. So what we end up with is a lighter version of the original color we used. In between of the dark and the white, a mixture. So then we take that, and anywhere that there's a backside, instead of going this way, we'll go this way. So a good example would be this one, down this way. See? And it applies the shadow side. Don't overdo, unless you want to. You can use more pressure on this part, or you can let it break. It's totally up to you. Totally up to you. And sometimes you have to use a bit more. And just do what makes you feel good. That's the key. Sometimes you have to turn it up to get into small areas, or you can use the little edge of the knife. I'll give you a quick example of that. And then we'll call this video complete. And the next one, we'll start onto the trees and foothills, stuff like that. So see, we load the little edge of the knife, and we're going to fit right in there. And just pull that shadow in. See? Perfect. There's one there. One there. Now, to finish out the process, like I said, we'll use the clean edge of this clean edge of this 2-inch brush here. Tap and diffuse the base of the mountain, creating the illusion of mist. This is why I put the extra white down there, so you can see the tapping. Use some pressure. I'm not going to go all the way up to the peaks, just the base area down here. And see, that makes it kind of mistier down there. And I'm going to lift up slightly, the same angle. So if I were lifting this side, it would be this direction. See that? Makes it mistier. And then this side, this direction, just slightly. And there we go. And that easy, you can make what I just made. That easy. I like it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll stop this video right there. If you got value, smash the like button, consider subscribing. I'll be back in the future with all kinds of landscape paintings to throw your way. CLCoilpainting.com, CLC Paint YouTube channel. Check out the Etsy shop. Got all my paintings there. Check out the description, all kinds of sweet stuff down in there. And until next time, give this a try. You can do it. It's easy. I guarantee it, ladies and gentlemen. Next time we'll be doing the foothills. With background trees, and then another layer of trees in front of that with some grass and then water. All you need in a landscape.